We're going to start with theme of the week, Graham. Have Barca been knocked off their perch? Well, they've definitely been knocked off their perch. They're not top of the league anymore. But is it something that their supporters should be worried about? And I wanted you to rank the reasons why they've had this blip in order of importance. I'll give you some options. There's no alternative to Pedro. That's one problem.
Yeah.
Flick won't relax. These demands.
Is it the colours of the strip?
On,
Could it be?
On sitting that lineup ridiculously high.
But it's not ridiculously high.
There's an inefficiency in the way that they press further forward. You could also argue that the decisions have gone against them recently.
So it's just good morning. The reason that you hear Pete talking in a funereal tone is not because he's an outright culé and Barca all the way, and these questions, each time they're issued, hurt him. It's because we've snuck into the office of some high-powered agents and we've picked an 11, none of whom belong to these agents. So when they come in and kick us out, and they may ejaculate us, they're going to be quite pissed off. So you can understand Pete keeping his voice down a little bit. Me, boorish as ever. What's knocked them off their perch? What are the ranking order? The number one thing
is the biggest reason.
Well, I have to keep apologising, even though I don't mean it, for repeating the same thing, because in our trade we've learned that what the modern editors and I suppose commissioners want is give us something new every time you talk about it. You don't say the same thing. But what I believe is that if you hit on something true, then you don't relinquish that. And without question in my mind, the absolute number one thing that's wrong with Barcelona is that they're fucking exhausted. They go to Saudi Arabia in midwinter, they're playing in hot temperatures, they've got ice packs around their neck, they stay up all night, they celebrate having beaten Real Madrid, back they come, they fly back. In the subsequent midweeks, they've had to go to Santander, they've had to go to Albacete, they've had to go to San Sebastian, they've had to go to Prague in freezing conditions. It's bang, 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 bang. No time to recuperate properly. No time to correct flaws on the training ground. No time just to assimilate ideas. As a human being, I keep saying this on this channel to the socials, when you've had a bad work week, the weekend is when, okay, you might go on the beach, you might go to the cinema, you might have nice wine or a nice dinner, or you may go for a run, but you assimilate. Everything settles into place and you get rid of all the shit and you go, I know what's happening Monday, Tuesday. Things have fitted into place. It's not like that at Barcelona right now. No particular tears for them. All elite clubs are having to do it. And Real Madrid were in the same situation, looking very bedraggled and slow to make good decisions and floppy mentally until they get the 2-week break. And then suddenly, with Pintus's addition, suddenly Madrid look tighter and harder and better in decision-making and use of the ball. That's Barcelona's number one problem. And then I'll close by saying that while it is an option, as everybody keeps counselling him to abandon the high line, that is an option. It's not that's the problem. It's the fact that it's a very high-wire, delicate system, which he believes in, which works. When the players explain it to you, they know why they're doing it and they know what the advantage is, because if you squeeze the middle and you play in a really high space, in a really tight space, their football Salah skills and their press are the things that allow them to make that line an advantage, not a disadvantage at the moment. And you named it. The high line's not working particularly well because if you fail even an instant in the press when you're tired, it's all a system, you see, folks, then you get exposed.
And so does Pedro come in a close second behind the fact that they've played too many games and there's no time to work on things, and the absence of Pedro?
I think Pedro himself, nobody that's associated here needs to be reintroduced as to how good he is, how influential he is. But if my argument carries water and you believe in the systematic responses, when the high line isn't working particularly well because the press isn't closing down the opposition and the opposition is able to pick passes or pick 2 or 3 passes and then release, one of the things you can't do is give the ball away. And one of the things Pedri doesn't do, on top of all his marvellous setting of the tempo and dragging of opponents into spaces they don't want to be in, release passes and threat high up the wing and his connection with Rafinha and Lamine, all that shopping list of things Pedri does well. One of the things that they're better at as a club, as a team, is when he's in the 11, they give the ball away less. And if you give the ball away less, then the opponent has fewer opportunities to say, now we've caught them undressed, now we punch, there we go, there's another goal chance. So he is essential, not just to how they play creatively and how brilliant they are because he's world class. But he is essential to what's going wrong with their system at the moment.
During this blip, have you seen performances from players who have made you think he probably needs to go at the end of the season? There needs to be some outs, and he needs to be one of them.
If Araujo is mentally well and is one of the captains and is consistently on the bench rather than playing, then my opinion is that there's a market for that type of player where he will flourish somewhere else, where he actually has to be a ball-winning, aerial-winning centre half of decent pace, 26 at the moment, international with his country. There's a big price for that. And at the moment, if Flick is staying, we've got elections coming right now at Club Barcelona, which probably will return Laporta, and if Laporta's returned, then probably Flick will stay. But in football, you never know. But if Flick is to be staying and the system is not to be changing, Araujo doesn't fit. So there's a price, number one. And I'm completely alone in this, I know. But it's the same old song I've sold to you before. Frankie de Jong is a footballer for when the weather is good. When the wind is in your face,
No, you're completely alone.
he's not. And that is, so therefore, you talked about sales. Oh, this is a hypothetical exercise because we don't control football. So he can say, no, I've got a contract in staying as he did before when Manchester United tried to buy him. But in my opinion, irrespective of the fact that there's a nice partnership with Pedri, his standing, watching players run off him, moaning, throwing his arms in the air, that's,
like he just don't care.
That's a factor. He's a wonderful singer too, yeah. That's a factor in how permeable Barcelona are. When things are going well, when it's flowing, he's a really apt piece for that squad, for that team, for that midfield, without question. But I think you're asking, in my opinion, you're asking a question which is like, where do you dare to go to generate money to clean out, or to refresh and revindicate the ideas, and that's where I would go.
Araujo to Atletico Madrid.
For example, yeah.
They take everyone else, don't they? And he will be an upgrade on long legs.
Let's get in touch with Cholo Simeone, if he's still in touch. Let's get in touch with Mateo Aleman, who knows Araujo very well from Mateo Aleman's time at Football Club Barcelona. Ooh, would you talk me through an Alvarez swap?
A swap with who, sorry? Oh, Alvarez. No, come on. No, Atleti are not daft. They usually get the better of the deal, not the worst of the deal when they're dealing with Barcelona.
It's a deal, Phil. Come on.
Maybe. We've really set the gato amongst the Palomas there. Let's end on a more positive note for Barca. They got Levante at the weekend.
Yeah.
So this comes at the perfect time, doesn't it? They've got a midweek off. We've just had a midweek off. They've got another midweek off. What you're talking about, more time on the training ground, and they play Levante.
I think so. They've had 2 days off. They took 2 free days under Flick, and they needed that, but that doesn't solve everything immediately because it's accumulated tiredness. I think that if you had to pick a side to play at Camp Nou mid-afternoon on a Saturday, I think it is, then Paul Weller would say, I'll have Levante, thanks very much indeed. He's wild, and would you not? The truth of it is, Barcelona are having difficulty killing teams at the moment when they're on top. It's going to be a douche atmosphere. It's not under floodlights. I think, caution is to be exercised as to whether they're going to run away with that game. But if they don't get a solid 3 points and a couple of goals, then their candidacy for LaLiga will drop still further, and people will be turning a very critical and angry spotlight on them, on the players, on the attitude. Rafinha will start. Pedri will play some of the game. You'd have thought it's the perfect rival. Maybe not the perfect time.
I was selling Levante as a great escape story, possible great escape story last weekend. Not since the selling of subprime mortgages in the when was it, 2000? They were so bad against.
It's a bit of a Ponzi at the moment.
No, they lost last night,
and they lost last night to a Mkhitaryan goal from Villarreal at home again. It was a bit of a Leo right at the end with Matty Ryan up in the penalty area. They played very badly against Valencia, and it's all very well. The new coach had changed things, and they have good footballers, but they look like relegation material because they can't get big results over the line. So, look, here's the story now. Thank you all for being there. Socials, we love you. But the reason that we do this is because we feel that bringing stuff directly from matches, from press conferences, from interviews, from our commentaries. It's something that you enjoy and that you can benefit from if you're a devoted fan of Spanish football, or if you're just interested in European football. And therefore, to the socios, thank you for being with us. To everybody else, please join us, please support us. If you look in the description, there's a link there to do so. It's like £3.99 a week, or 30 quid right through until the end of 2026. Be there for us, please. We need you. Socios, thank you very much for being there already.